Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. Today is Monday, March 21st, 2022, the first full day of spring. And we begin with a question over color and what, if anything, it means. 3 Russian cosmonauts reached the International Space Station over the weekend wearing bold yellow and blue, the color of Ukraine's flag. The internet went wild speculating that the space scientists were making a political statement and showing solidarity for their earthly under-attack neighbor. The Russian space agency quickly shot down that theory, insisting the blue and yellow spacesuits were chosen months ago to represent Bowman Moscow State Technical University, the alma mater of all 3 crew members. As far as the invasion itself, it's now in its 4th week. Yesterday, Ukrainian President Zelensky asked Russia's President Putin for a face-to-face meeting to end it. As of this recording, there's been no official response. The historic nomination of Ketanji Brown Jackson to the U.S. Supreme Court takes a big step forward today when the Senate Judiciary Committee begins a week of televised hearings on her qualifications. Judge Jackson would be the first Black woman to sit on the nation's highest court. Today, she'll give an opening statement. Tomorrow and Wednesday, she'll take questions from lawmakers. And in about a week, the committee will vote on whether to send her nomination to the full Senate for consideration. Democrats hope to confirm Judge Jackson before the middle of April, but she isn't expected to be fully sworn in until July, once Justice Breyer steps down. Last week, we told you about a wealthy Chicago businessman's first gasoline giveaway. Now he's gearing up to do it again, this time ponying up $1 million to fill the tanks of friends and strangers alike. In all, Willie Wilson plans to cover the cost at 50 locations this Thursday from 7 a.m. until all the money is spent. The last fill-up freebie caused terrible traffic jams and even a few fender benders, and that could happen again. But so far, it's a go for this second giveaway with volunteers lined up to do the pumping. Mr. Wilson has urged the press, elected officials, and clergy to join in. Cinderella has made it to the men's Sweet 16. To get there, number 15, St. Peter's from Jersey City, New Jersey, stunned 8-time NCAA champion Kentucky, then doubled down with a win over Murray State. Will the magical storyline of the St. Peter's Peacocks continue? We'll find out on Friday. And while the March Madness spotlight is usually on the players, it was the cheer squad that stole it earlier in the tournament. The Indiana-St. Mary's game came to a screeching halt Thursday when the ball got stuck above the net. There was a big delay, talk of chairs and ladders, and several attempts to poke it with a mop. Nothing worked until one Hoosier cheerleader flipped another over his head and stretched high enough for her to grab the ball. The crowd went wild, as did Twitter, with one post proclaiming, "Indiana's best player is a cheerleader." On the women's side, the Sweet 16 will be set by day's end. The World Happiness Report results are in, and for the 5th year in a row, Finland gets the win for happiest country. The overarching reason? It's balance and harmony. The runner-up was Denmark, with Iceland rounding out the top 3. The 146 countries involved in the study were judged on factors like the economy, citizens' freedom to make life choices, as well as their people's longevity, kindness, and generosity. The U.S. came in at number 16. In other KidNuz notes, Pete and Kanye are out and Dolly's back in. First to Pete Davidson, who is no longer flying to the edge of space with Blue Origin. This week's launch got pushed back by 9 days, and for reasons unclear, the Saturday Night Live star is no longer on the passenger list. His nemesis, Kanye West, is also on the outs and won't be performing at the Grammys as planned, reportedly because of his recent concerning online activity, much of which was directed at Davidson. Dolly Parton, on the other hand, is back in the running for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She asked to be pulled from consideration, saying she hadn't earned the right, but the Hall politely declined because voting is underway, and the organization is, quote, in awe of her talent. That's it for KidNuz. Now, today's KidNuz quiz. Ukrainian President Zelensky has asked Russia's president for what? A face-to-face meeting. Who is the focus of Senate hearings today? Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson. What college men's team is having a Cinderella run during March Madness? St. Peter's of Jersey City, New Jersey. What country won World's Happiest for the 5th straight year? Finland. In today's KidNuz Kicker, Vladimir Putin follows exactly 22 people on Twitter. One of them is movie star and former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is wildly popular in Russia. The Terminator took advantage of his audience Friday to post a heartfelt 9-minute video telling Russians their government is lying. With Russian subtitles, he called the invasion an illegal war and a human catastrophe, and told Russian soldiers that their lives, limbs, and futures were being sacrificed. Mr. Schwarzenegger also appealed directly to President Putin, saying, "You started this war, you are leading this war, you can stop this war." As of yesterday, the video had been viewed more than 34 million times. Before we go, we want to shout out our terrific KidNuz teachers, starting with Miss Romero at Fair Oaks Elementary in Pleasant Hill, California, Mrs. Schaub at Eugene Field in Park Ridge, Illinois, Mrs. Smith at Wilson Elementary in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Miss Brunner at Douglas Elementary in Watertown, Wisconsin, and Andrea King at Captain Elementary in St. Louis, Missouri. Thanks for listening. Please rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll see you back here for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.